Hi, everyone. I'm Kendra Vise, and I own Clear Direction Advisors, and I'm a business strategist and accountant. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about sales taxes in Canada, particularly GST, HST. So, this is the federal tax that the government of Canada puts on different goods and services throughout the country. And there are some definite rules around this, and I get ask this question a lot myself. It's something that I go over in my business startup roadmap course. It's also something that I see people posting about all of the time on social media, where there's lots of confusion and questions around it. So this video is just to do a brief overview and some things that you need to think about when you are looking at the GST HST, so that you know that you are applying it correctly and you know when you need to register. So there's a few steps that you need to do, right? You need to register with CRA and let them know that you are going to be collecting GST, HST. They're going to give you a 9-digit business number, and this number will flow through for a few other things depending on the structure of your business, things like payroll and that sort of thing. You're going to have to charge now your customers once you are registered and not before, because you must be registered before you can collect GST and HST, but you must charge your customers based on their location, not yours. And then when it comes to the reporting, which could be monthly, quarterly, or annually, you're going to have to report your sales, the amount of GST, HST that you have collected, as well as ITCs or input tax credits, which is the GST or HST that you've paid out on expenses. Now, when we talk about GST and HST registration, there's two ways that you can do this. Both require contacting CRA. You can't get away from that, but you can voluntarily register at any time. And that means that if you are under the required threshold of $30,000 of sales, not net income, people get confused about that as well. So it's your sales, the money that you are invoicing out to your clients and your customers for 4 consecutive quarters. So this isn't over a January to December timeframe, like you are reporting right for your income taxes. This is a rolling set of quarters that you need to look at for that $30,000 of sales within that time frame. Now, if whichever route you go, and again, CRA is not going to come to you and go, "Ooh, you've had $30,000 of sales, you need to register." You need to monitor that yourself. There are pros and cons against voluntarily registering early. So it's something that is definitely something you need to look at and discuss with somebody who knows sales taxes. An accountant, like your accountant, is always a good person to do that with. Now, here's the list of the current, as of May 2023, the current GST and HST amounts. I do have another video all about PST, which is BC, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Quebec. So for all of the provinces, there is either GST or HST, and that includes the 3 territories. So for BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Quebec, and then again, all 3 territories, the Yukon, Nunavut, and Northwest territories, they all have 5% GST. And as I mentioned, BC, Alberta, Manitoba, and Quebec have PST, which I talk about in a different video. But then you have Ontario with 13% HST, which is a harmonized sales tax. So that means that the provincial and federal pieces are put together. And then Nova Scotia, Newfoundland and Labrador, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island have a 15% HST. So this is important if you are selling across Canada, because you do need to understand what rates you're doing. Now, if you are selling something outside of Canada, typically if they are taxable products or services that you're selling, because they're outside of Canada, it's going to be what's called zero rated. There are also some goods and services that are exempt. You can get a full list of this from the Government of Canada website. Sometimes it can be a little tricky, but you can find it there. You can talk to somebody who knows either how to find that, or the right questions to ask with CRA, or you can call CRA yourself and find out if what it is that you're selling is taxable when it comes to the GST and HST. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and we're always happy to help.